Hey Matt, Thursday 6th of December. To start with, I'm not really sure how to answer that question, to be honest, because I've been a part of many things in my life through both my professional career, my side career on YouTube, and my personal life just being in and around things. I suppose you could talk in terms of fandoms, and I've been part of many fandoms, including Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, if you want to go video games, or if you want to talk about YouTube, Nerdfighteria and Ashen's, or if you want to talk about podcasts, Welcome to Nightville. The question of how I've supported them in terms of like Ashen's and Nerdfighters, I've bought merch in the past, I've tweeted out their videos, I have shared the conversation and gotten a part of the communities. Welcome to Nightville, same thing, I've shared it out on Twitter several times, I've quoted it, I've introduced new people to the weird and wonderful world of Welcome to Nightvale. While possibly not quite the same thing as what you're looking for, I have served people in my job in retail over the last 10 years. I work 4, 5, 6 days a week depending on the rotas. Okay, I'm getting paid for that, so it might not be the same sort of thing, but I am providing a service to people who then use that to go about doing their other things, so technically you're helping in some sort of way, although it's much more commercial than personal. I have worked on many YouTube projects in the past, helping to connect other people with content they like and other people who share their interests, and generally just connecting and networking as many people as possible, which is one of my long-term goals on both YouTube and the wider world. But I think serving yourself is also important, which I would probably talk about in a future video. The other thing I wanted to cover this week briefly is what I mentioned last week, and that is being a nerd, or the definition, the classification of what a nerd is. Whereas in the past there has been certain connotations and stereotypes attached with the word nerd, I think nowadays it's become a much more broader sort of definition. People go so far as to class themselves as a certain type of nerd, such as a literature nerd, an anime nerd, a gaming nerd, and even subjects where you would consider them to be the antithesis of being a nerd. Things like professional sport, football, rugby, American football, traditionally associated with jocks and things like that, if that stereotype still exists. To be truly absorbed into something, into a fandom or a subject, by definition nowadays would make you a nerd. To be called a football nerd is kind of a paradox or a contradiction, but to me it actually makes sense. Even speaking to a friend who doesn't consider himself a nerd as such, he does follow football and he considers anyone who's really into the game as a nerd. So the definition of that word is a lot more positive these days compared to what it used to be. And that is where I'm going to leave this video for this week, because I have a lot still to do over to edit this video. It is now 9 PM, and obviously this weekend it is the annual Project for Awesome, which I encourage you all to either get involved in, create videos yourself, or just watch the videos of others and just help raise money for charity. It's going to be great, and I'm sure Matt will be heavily involved in it. So because once more I am working during Project for Awesome weekend, I won't be taking part in it myself, but I will be viewing them when I can. But Matt, you keep mattering, and I'll have a nice day, and I'll see you next week.